really what I really focused on was cell division. And that's actually the first question on the test from this lecture. Like, what's the big picture? What is cell division? What does it do? What's the overall function? What did you guys get from cell division? What does it provide for? What are the 3 things cell division provide for? Anyone?
Growth.
Yes. I love you. What else? Someone's done. What else does growth what? You got growth. Growth, repair, and gamete production. So, what mitosis describes is the process of growth and repair. So, for example, our skin cells, we shed them every 2 to 3 weeks. So, by the process of mitosis, we're able to replace skin cells with skin cells. So that's why you have growth and repair. And then gamete production, once we hit puberty, through the process of meiosis, we basically decrease our chromosome number from 46, 23 and 23 from both parents, to eventually only 23. So it's a blend of both parents. And that's gamete production. So this is the first question on the test. What is cell division? Why does cell division occur? Well, the whole purpose of cell division is growth, repair, and gamete production. All right. The next question on the test is basically, do you guys actually know the process of mitosis and meiosis? So for the next question, what you have to do is compare and contrast mitosis versus meiosis. So make sure you guys know the basic description of each, which is from this slide right here. This is where you get the second question on the test. So make sure you guys know the differences between them. Does anyone have any questions on mitosis versus meiosis? I think you guys have had it before, right? Seen it before? Yeah.
One way that I remember, some people said like mitosis, like your toes. So you think about like growth in your toe versus meiosis. I don't know. That's how I remember it.
I mean, that shit works.
Yeah. That helps anyone.
Sounds goofy, but it's working. Mitosis. My toes. Yeah, just remember the skin cells on your toes. Shit, they have to be replaced by mitosis. But I'm trying to think, meiosis. How is that meiosis? Yeah, my oocytes. That's good. How are your oocytes produced? Oh shit, see? We're creative. Gosh dang. That's awesome. I should coin those too. Alright. Everyone good? And next question on the test, we dive a little bit deeper. Alright. So mitosis. What are you doing during mitosis? What are we actually doing? Yes, there's a shitload of stages. Right? There's a shitload of stages in mitosis, but do I want you guys to remember? No, I don't give a shit. What I actually want you to take away is that during the process of mitosis, what are we actually doing? Well, what we're doing is dividing the nucleus. Make sure you guys know that for the test. What are we doing during mitosis? Well, we're doing nuclear division right here. This is the big picture. And then once we divide the nucleus, how do we divide the rest of the cell, which is the cytoplasm? Well, that process is done by this cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is dividing the cytoplasm. So one process describes division of the nucleus, the other one division of the cytoplasm. And then from that, we get 2 daughter cells. So remember that for the test. All right. So what is a gene? What is a gene? Does every single one of your cells contain the same genes? You have about 20,000 genes, a little bit over 20,000 genes. And every single one of your body cells, with the exception of your red blood cells, contains the same amount of genes, the exact same ones. It doesn't matter whether it's your nervous cells, your hepatocytes, your liver cells, the skin cells, it doesn't matter. So what makes them actually different? That is the question on the test. I'll tell you guys. The question on the test is, what makes cells different? What makes them specialized? Well, what makes cells specialized is that they express different genes. Not all the genes in every single one of your cells is turned on at the same time. They all express different ones. And that's the whole purpose of this table. Basically showing you in red blood cells you got certain types of genes, in muscles, others, in pancreatic cells you have others. So, because you have different cells producing different proteins, you have basically different shapes and eventually different functions. So the key is different cells express different genes. Eventually you have different proteins. All right. That's what I want you guys to take away. All right. Any questions, comments on that concept? Did you guys have a question? I heard a little chatter back there. Anyone? I can clarify it for you. You guys good? All right, cool. All right, so that does it for mitosis. Now we're going to jump into what happens when mitosis doesn't work normally. Well, when mitosis doesn't work normally, it basically leads to what? Cancer. And one of the things about cancer is once you guys hit your 40s, you should everyone here should get checked because cancer doesn't appear over time. Right now, you guys are in your prime, causing a shitload of damage. Who knows by what you're doing? God knows. And I don't give a shit. All I want you to do is once you get older, go get checked. I want you to live up to your 70s and 80s. Because what happens is that a tumor, it basically, once it gets expressed, it takes about 20 years for it to go from tumor to eventually a cancerous cell. So once it hit your 40s, yes, get checked. But the question on the test, basically, it's asking you, the major causes of cancer are pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer. What do all three cancers have in common? What type of tissue does cancer occur on? Epithelial tissue. Why? Why does it occur on epithelial tissue? Well, this is the fastest dividing type of tissue. So the more divisions you have, the more prone it is to getting mutations. So on the test, just remember, epithelial tissue is where most cancers occur. They all reproduce at a rapid rate, all these cells. All right, questions, comments? Anything? All right, cool. All right. And then another thing is that you've seen people suffer from Down syndrome. I've seen it all the time, and it's like you feel pity for them because their quality of life, it's much more diminished compared to ours that are normal. That's one of the things I appreciate from life. Is like, yes, I'm healthy. One of the things that Down syndrome shows us is that we could be fragile. And unfortunately, guys were able to reproduce gametes throughout our lifespan. On the other hand, ladies, your eggs that you're born with, those are the ones you have that you release throughout from up until you guys hit menopause. And as you age, you tend to accumulate more damage in those egg cells. So then that's why it's recommended that you guys get checked after the age of 35. And regardless whether it's trisomy 21, 18, or 13, all these different syndromes occur through the process of non-disjunction. And really, it's called non-disjunction is because either the homologous chromosomes fail to separate or the sister chromatids fail to separate. So, non-disjunction can occur in meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 is where homologous chromosomes, basically, you have mom's and dad's chromosomes. They should be separated into different gametes, but they fail to separate. So remember for the test that non-disjunction can occur during meiosis 1. And really, on the test, I could have asked you a direct question on meiosis, but really I phrased it this way because non-disjunction can occur in either stage of meiosis, and meiosis occurs in 2 stages, right? In the first stage, you got parent chromosomes separating, and in the second stage, you have sister chromatids separating. So here you have two sister chromatids. They're supposed to separate into different gametes, but they failed to separate. Alright. So just remember that for the test. That non-disjunction can occur during meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Alright. Questions, comments for me? Anything? Alright. So the next question on the test comes from this slide right here. And really the way I phrase the question is, do you guys remember the products of Sterately cells and interstitial cells? So what are the products of Sterately cells? There's really two products. One is inhibin, two is androgen binding protein. That's what you have to remember for Sterately. And for interstitial cells, there's only one product, and that is testosterone. So just remember the products of each, and you'll be able to answer those two questions on the test. Alright. So that does it for the guys. Now let's move on to the ladies. And the question for the ladies is focused on the menstrual cycle. Usually the menstrual cycle goes from 0 to 28 days. And during that time frame, you have a growing follicle. And this growing follicle, as it grows, it releases a hormone. Really what you should be thinking for the test is, what hormone is released by the growing follicle? Does anyone know? It causes an increase in estradiol. So that's the hormone that it secretes, estradiol. And then you have another hormone. Once there's a peak in estradiol, there's also a surge in LH. And what LH triggers is ovulation. So LH triggers you see, I'm doing a concept map for you guys. So that's at day 14. Does anyone feel like a slight pinch or anything on their side around day 14? No? I don't know, I've read it. I'm not a girl, so I wouldn't know. I can't offer testimonials, that's what I'm asking. Can anyone, is it true or not?
No. On day 14, I just feel like really good about myself. Like
Really good?
confidence.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. No one else? Because one of the reasons that you feel more energized is because the egg is viable anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, about 2 days. And one of the hormones that it secretes is progesterone. It increases substantially. It's what basically birth control is based on, and also those pregnancy tests checks for that hormone. Alright, so just remember that for the test. Estradiol, LH, and progesterone. And that's more than enough feedback telling me, yes, you understand women's menstrual cycle. Alright, so that does it for me. Any questions from you guys? I've been talking more than enough. Shit, I just talked for what? Like about an hour? So you guys talking for 45 minutes? Shit, that should be easy peasy. Alright. Alright. Everybody good? Yeah.
The slide where you're talking about the products of the serotonin
Serotonin cells and interstitial cells? Yeah.
Okay, so it's called interstitial? Yeah, it's like Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for me? Comments? Alright. So what I recommend is that you guys talk to